Money does not come from the outside. It awakens inside you first. If your life feels stuck, it's not because abundance isn't available. It's because something inside you is blocking it. Today, we remove those blockages forever. The flow of wealth opens only when a person realizes that money is not actually paper, nor the market's interest rates, nor people's support, nor any blind movement of fate. Money is in fact a living, circulating energy that constantly moves toward those who awaken that energy inside themselves, who align their mind, emotions, faith, pain, hope, and belief on such a frequency where abundance is created, where the door of divine blessing opens, where the natural system begins to work in a person's favor, where the soul becomes so aligned with its purpose that every blocked path of life suddenly becomes clear. But the first question that arises is, what are the inner blockages? These blockages are the thoughts that have been repeated for years, the suppressed pains, the wounds of childhood, the words someone spoke that sank into us and made us feel small forever, the memories that settled over the soul like shadows, the constant self-doubt that keeps scratching the heart, the inner restlessness that stops us at every step. These things create a deep internal blockade, and until that blockade breaks, the flow of wealth feels impossible. Many people run after money all their lives and still fail to receive it because their inner energy goes against their own words. The tongue says, I want to be rich, but the inner system says, I don't deserve it. The tongue says, I want abundance. The inner belief says, my life has always been difficult. The tongue says, I want to change my life. The inner belief whispers, change is not written in my destiny. And this is the point where a person must understand that money is not the result of hard work alone, but first a result of energy. Because effort and worldly systems start working only when the inner system gives permission. So the question arises, how do these inner blockages dissolve? The first step is to listen to yourself. If you listen deeply, you'll realize that you have been afraid of money, you have rejected it, or you have considered it sinful, unfair, or wrong, and therefore pushed it away. Somewhere in your heart you have believed that rich people are bad, money brings trouble, no one in my family has ever been wealthy, or I have made too many mistakes so I don't deserve abundance. And all these beliefs create chains that block the universe's supply. These blockages begin to break when a person, for the first time, becomes gentle with themselves, forgives themselves, stops bearing old wounds, brings them into the light, understands them, honors them, and then releases them. When you drop your old stories, you give yourself permission to write a new story. And wherever permission exists, abundance flows naturally. The flow of wealth is a spiritual continuity. When you rise to a vibration where you feel safe, worthy, capable, and deserving of divine mercy, money begins to move toward you on its own because your energy enters receiving mode. When a person is broken inside, the universe hesitates to give. But when a person becomes whole within, the treasures of the universe walk toward them. Blockages dissolve when you reshape your thoughts with words that lift the soul, such as, I am worthy. My life is becoming a center of abundance. Every day I feel more open, more safe, and more prosperous. The universe loves me. My energy is attracting wealth. There is no lack in me. There never was. And when these words echo inside repeatedly, the frozen blockages begin to melt one by one. Blockages dissolve when you remove your old identity. That identity which said, I am poor, I am unlucky, I am a person of hardships, life always defeats me. And you replace it with a new identity. I think like the wealthy. I am a person of abundance. I appreciate life. I own my energy. I am the winner of my story. I am grateful. I am the person for whom the doors of the universe have opened. And then the path of wealth begins to clear automatically. Blockages dissolve when you trust the story written by your soul. Because the system of the universe is never unjust. It is always giving, always kind, always abundant. And it gives only to those who make space inside themselves. Cleanse your heart. Allow your pain to melt. Let love rise within you. Revive your belief. Brighten your imagination, elevate your thinking, let your soul breathe, allow your wounds to heal. When all this happens, the paths of life change. The river of abundance begins to flow. Money doesn't stop, it grows continuously, because the inner flow shapes the outer reality. The flow of wealth opens when you make peace with yourself, when you stop fighting yourself, when you accept yourself, when you learn to love yourself. Because wherever there is love, there is abundance, there is blessing, and life flows gently and peacefully. And finally, a deep truth. Wealth never comes from the outside. It always awakens inside first, then appears outside. Whoever becomes rich within is no longer dependent on systems, situations, difficulties, or people's opinions. They become the source of abundance themselves. And when a person becomes a source, the flow of wealth is no miracle. It becomes a natural result of inner alignment.
In a person's life, there come certain turning points where they either keep struggling their whole life with their old thinking, or they make a small but powerful decision from within that completely changes their destiny. And that decision opens such a door after which the flow of sustenance, the rain of opportunities, and the circulation of wealth become a part of their daily life. My own story is also something like this, because I too once survived on only 8,000 rupees a month, and that too with difficulty. Sometimes the electricity bill, sometimes the mobile package, sometimes the household groceries, sometimes the worry of rent. It felt as if life had stopped in one place. But one day I decided that this blockage was not permanent, it was simply the result of my inner thinking. And when I learned the 5 commandments, the same 5 principles that have been passed down from generation to generation for centuries, and whoever adopted them transformed from ordinary to extraordinary, my income did not go from 8,000 to 4,000, 10,000 or 20,000. Rather, it directly reached 3 lakh rupees per month, and today, whatever I know, I will give to you so that the same flow, the same change, the same abundance comes into your life, which once wasn't even in my dreams. The first commandment is that a person must break the limited thinking inside their mind, because sustenance is first created in the mind and then takes shape outside. If in your mind you hold the belief that income only increases through hard work or through a job, or that it is determined by family background, then this very thinking will keep you locked in 8,000, 10,000 or 15,000. But when a person expands their thinking, when they consider themselves worthy of more, when they accept that sustenance is not limited but unlimited, they begin to open from within, and this inner opening is the door to outward success. This commandment taught me that I can earn as much as I want. The problem was not outside, it was in the programming of my mind, and when I changed it, the world changed. The second commandment is that a person creates their destiny with their own tongue, because words are that power which either open doors or close them. And I used to say every day, nothing happens, money always falls short, job is everything, success comes only to the lucky. These words themselves were closing the doors of sustenance for me, because words create vibration and vibration becomes reality. Then I decided to change my words. I began saying, I am open to the doors of sustenance, my income is increasing every day, I am a center of abundance, my work is blessed. And the surprising thing is that within a few days, opportunities began to appear. People who hadn't contacted me in years reached out. I started getting small projects, and those very projects gave me one client who tripled my income in a single stroke. A person thinks that words are just sounds, but in reality, words are the language of creation, as the saints, Sufis, sages, dervishes, and spiritual teachers have always said. Whatever you speak returns to you, and I experienced exactly that. The third commandment is that sustenance does not come from hard work, it comes from identity. Meaning, if you change your inner identity, the outcome changes automatically. If you keep seeing yourself as poor, helpless, needy, weak, or unsuccessful, then even if you work day and night, your income will remain the same. But when I learned that a person changes only when they adopt a new identity from within, an identity that considers itself worthy of abundance, worthy of honor, an identity that attracts opportunities, I gave myself from within the identity of a prosperous person. I began seeing myself as a capable person. I accepted that I am worthy of earning 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh. And when this identity became firm, the universe opened pathways for me accordingly. The fourth commandment is that sustenance increases when a person moves. Movement always brings blessing. Earlier, I was surviving on only one skill, doing only one job, and trapped within it. Then I decided that I would increase my skills. I learned three new skills: communication, freelancing, and marketing. Then I learned to give my work a beautiful presentation. I created my online profile, learned the art of increasing prices, and in this way, I opened those doors that were previously hidden from my sight. A person only progresses when they have the courage to change themselves, and this commandment says if you are not changing, you cannot increase your income, and this remains true even today. The fifth and the final commandment is that a grateful heart always speeds up the flow of sustenance, because gratitude is the door that frees a person from past shortages and takes them towards expansion. When my income was 8,000, I only saw lack. But when I began practicing gratitude for my health, my home, my breath, opportunities, even the 8,000 income, I felt that the burden began lifting from within me. I became lighter, and the light soul always attracts more sustenance. I wrote gratitude every day, and that very gratitude brought such rapid change in my life that people began to recognize me. These are the five commandments that changed my entire life. Thinking changed, words changed, identity changed, skill changed, gratitude changed, and today when I earn 3 lakh rupees per month, I understand that sustenance is actually the game of spirit, energy, vibration, and belief. And whoever learns this game, life is no longer difficult for them, the world is no longer hostile, circumstances are no longer obstacles, instead, everything bows before them. If you adopt these five commandments, expand your thinking, change your words, build a new identity, increase your skills, and embrace gratitude, your income can rise not just from 8,000 to 3 lakh, but 3 lakh to 30 lakh, because the universe always bows before the one who conquers their inner fear and awakens their inner certainty. Remember, sustenance does not increase outside, a person increases from within, and when a person grows inside, the whole world makes space for them.